Hello, hello, hello. Hello, friends. Hello. Happy Monday.
Right now.
Let me get my Instagram going. Hope you guys are doing well. Hold on. I'm trying to write this way because my friend told me she doesn't like how my face looks when I'm typing in the title. But I hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday. I hope you had a great week last week. We've got some fun stuff to talk about today. I have some updates on a couple of things that we talked about last week. Excuse me. And I'm feeling much better than I was last week, guys. If you were here last week with me, my vocal cords were like on fire, but I'm back. I went home this past week to Boston. My mom, she gave me the mom special treatment, some nice Haitian tea, a nice Haitian, what they call friction. It's like a massage that they give you with the castor oil and Vicks and just help clear all that right up. So your girl's back. I had an interesting weekend. My car decided to not start after I went to brunch. Not that anything was wrong with the engine. The key just wouldn't turn in the ignition. And I had to have my car towed home. So your girl had a week last week, but we are here and we are grateful. I hope your week went well. But today we've got stories about if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, there's some good news coming your way. If you are a person who likes designer bags, I have a story for you. My video game players, I have a story for you. And there is an update about McDonald's in Russia, which we are also going to talk about, okay? And there's also an update on that Vogue story from last week. Okay. So those are just some of the things that we're going to talk about. If you happen to be new right now, I know that you guys are coming in on Clubhouse especially, and you don't know what this is. This is NPL Legal Dish. This is my weekly show where we learn business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. So, if you're interested in business or interested in your favorite celebrities' latest legal woes, tune in. So we're going to get started at 8:05. I just want to give everybody a chance to come on in, grab a drink, get a snack, grab something to write with or record with, however you choose to, engage with this broadcast. Because you're going to learn something. I guarantee you're going to learn something. Okay. All right. Yes. Yeah. Also, this is a special week. This week is both not just me, but also my father's birthday. My dad's birthday is on Wednesday. My birthday is on Thursday. So, your girl is getting more and more vintage, fine wine up here. um, yeah. So I'm getting ready to enjoy another revolution around the sun, okay? So we're getting started in less than a minute. Hope you guys are all comfortable and relaxed. Hello to whoever joined on either Facebook or YouTube. Please say hi. All right. And we will kick everything off soon as the clock hits 8:05, my dears. All right. Okay. Do. Yes. So I hope what is it? We good? Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Clubhouse. Clubhouse, I love the crowd. Invite your friends on in. And it's 8:05, so we are going to get started, all right? Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to NPL Legal Dish. This is my Monday broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. If this is your first time seeing my face, or if you're listening and you're hearing my voice, and you're like, who's this lady? I'm Natalie Pierre Lewis. I'm the host of the show, and I'm the owner and operator of NPL Consulting LLC, a business formation firm. What that means is I help people like yourself get your business paperwork together. So things like making sure you have your articles of incorporation with the state, making sure you have EIN numbers and DUNS numbers so you can do things like pay taxes and get your products into big box stores. Um, I help you with brand protection strategies, so trademarks, copyrights, and patents, so people don't steal your business ideas, which is especially important in today's business climate. I also help with contract templates, right? So you're not left holding the bag with clients and partners. And last but not least, I help with hiring and training policies so you don't get sued for discrimination. Okay, these are just some of the things that I can help you with. If you're wondering why I'm qualified to help you do these things and more, I'm very happy that you asked. I'm a licensed attorney. I have been one for almost 16 years now. I've started multiple businesses for myself and others, both online and offline. I've had many careers in the realms of entrepreneurship, the law, education, hospitality, and administrative support. And most important, I am very passionate about making business and legal education as accessible to everyone as possible. Not everybody has the time, the money, or the desire to go to business school or to law school, but a lot of you have amazing business ideas. And if you're going to be successful, there are just some things that you need to know. There's no way around it. Okay. So that's why I'm here. So if you are in the startup phase of your business and you are looking for some legal guidance, you're like, I don't know how to do these applications. Where do I even find the applications? How much does it cost to file? Where is the best place to file? I need a contract for my clients, all of this stuff. So if you're in that phase of your business, or even if you've been in business for a while, but you still don't have these things in place, I encourage you to reach out to me. The best way to do that is to go to Linktree /NPL consulting firm, Linktree /NPL consulting firm, Linktree /NPL consulting firm. There, you can book yourself a free 15-minute consultation. If you are a first time client, if you are not a first time client, you can book a what I call a Talk to Me Tuesday, where you can get 30 minutes for $35. Um, as well, at Linktree /NPL consulting firm, you can download my free biz launch cheat sheet that will help you choose and start your dream business in 7 days or less. Okay, Linktree /NPL consulting firm is also where you can access many of my digital products. These last few months, we've been focusing on intellectual property, trademarks, copyrights, patents. We're in the last few days of copyrights. So you can pick up my Protect Your Biz video training bundle, where you will learn about trademarks, copyrights, and patents with 4 videos and 3 ebooks. Okay. Um, excuse me. And at Linktree /NPL consulting firm is also where you can connect with my other social media platforms. I'm pretty much everywhere. Come catch up with your girl. All right. So that is enough about Mawa. Let's get to the reason why we are here today. Here is how the show works, just in case someone doesn't know. I pull stories from the news, stories from blog sites, stories that you guys send to me. I love it when I see you guys in my inbox saying, "Hey, did you hear about this?" Um, and I pull the ones that have lessons that we can learn as business owners, and we talk about them. Okay, so this is a time for you to, ask your questions and give your comments, as long as they are respectful. If y'all come in here cussing and whatever, hey, Kels Butter, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna block you. Okay, my mama watched the show. All right. But this is a time for you to get involved in the conversation, because you learn things better when you participate than when you listen. Okay. All right. Yeah, so that is enough about the show. So I think that we can get started. Okay. And the first thing that we're going to do before we even get into our stories is talk about our NPL nugget. What is an NPL nugget? An NPL nugget is a quick lesson that I teach about the topic of the month. So, like I said, we are at the tail end of our copyright series. So, I just wanted to, hey, Nessie time, I haven't seen you in a minute, boo. So, I just wanted to take this time for our NPL nugget to help you understand the difference between trademarks and copyrights, because that is something that I see confused all the time. When you have a trademark, a legally registered trademark, that protects your mark in the business space. So a trademark protects your brand when you are making money. All right. So if you file for a trademark, you either have to be using that mark to represent the products you sell, or about or are going to use that mark for the products you sell, right? So there's always a selling component where it comes to trademarks. Now, when it comes to copyrights, copyrights are for your artsy side. Okay. So trademarks are for the business side, copyrights are for the artsy side. That's so that, when you are a creator, whether you're a writer, a dancer, a sculptor, um, I don't know, whatever it is that you can create as an artist, the copyright is the legal, is your legal right to say who can and cannot use your work. Okay. There doesn't necessarily have to be money involved, but it gives you control over who can access or spread your work. Okay. All right, so that is our NPL nugget, and now we can start the actual show. So let's get ready. Okay. Excuse me. All right, so we're going to start off with a few updates. Okay. So if you were here last week and you remember our story about Vogue, please give me a V in the comments. If you were not here last week, we talked about how Vogue magazine, or the company that owns Vogue magazine, wrote a cease and desist letter to a small pub um, about 6 hours away from London, which is the headquarters of Vogue. Thank you, Kels Butter. And told them that, mind you, this pub has been around for hundreds of years. And they told them that they should change their name. The name of the pub was the Star Inn at Vogue, because the city that the pub is located in is called Vogue. So the pub wrote Vogue magazine back and was like, "Girl, get out of here. Um, we were here already." And at the end of the story last week, I told you that Vogue was going to have to, take their leather cape and go on somewhere. Well, not only did Vogue do that, but they actually wrote an apology letter to this pub, the Star Inn at Vogue, which the pub has since framed, and they have it up in their pub, showing the apology letter that was written to them from Vogue's parent company, Condé Nast. All right, so that was a case of a little bit of trademark bullying gone wrong, but they've since rectified that, and that's classy of Vogue to admit, to not only admit that they were wrong, but to send a legitimate apology to these business owners, because who knows how far that could have gone, right? Okay. um and the other, actually, we're gonna wait for that other update, um because I want to get into the nooks and crannies of that. Okay. All right. So we'll get to the other updates later. Let's get into some news stories. All right. Um, did y'all know that? How many of y'all ever or remember the Source Magazine, or even the Source Hip Hop Awards? If you remember Source Magazine or the Source Hip Hop Awards, give me a microphone emoji, whether you're watching, whether you're listening. If you're on Clubhouse, put it in the chat box. But if you remember, or if you still, um, uh, what is it, are a patron of Hey Can I Talk with Ross, of what is it, the Source. Thank you, JC Marie. Thank you, Kels Butter. Okay, so I did not know that the Source was still in business. Thank you, Jackie. I obviously they no longer have a printed version, but I did not know that the Source still operated. Thank you, Don Wayne, for the microphone. Still operated a an online presence. Did anybody know that? If you did, just put in the comments, I knew that. Please let me know. Okay. Um, Apparently they are still alive and kicking, and they even have a sports section. um I always thought that the Source was just about deep hip hop culture, things like that, What I know of the source is the magazine, hip hop, and the source awards where everybody was always getting in a fight. Okay. But I guess they've cleaned up their image. Thank you, Nessie Time. Jackie said I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know either. They've cleaned up their image, I guess. But they even they have a sports section their uh on their online magazine. Right now, nothing wrong with a hip hop publication covering sports. Many people who are fans of hip hop are also fans of a multitude of sports. However, the source as a publication has been committing a cardinal sin, one of the biggest sins that you can create when you are a publication. What do you think the source has been doing with their sports reports? They've been doing something with their sports reports that is the biggest, like, it's the biggest sin you can commit in journalism. When people find out you do this, usually at the publication, you usually get put out. Who knows what I'm talking about? What is the big yes? Can I talk with Ross? Thank you very much. Plagiarize. The source.com is being accused of plagiarism. Yes, Kels, and you know what, Kels Budded, you're both right, because plagiarism is a form of copyright infringement, right? Because I wrote something and you're taking it and you're using it without my permission. So the source.com, the online magazine, they are Jackie said false news. They are being accused of plagiarism by a publication called Larry Brown Sports. They basically have said that the source.com has been copying their sports stories verbatim or almost verbatim. So basically, whoever is in charge what is that's my AC. Whoever is in charge of the sports section at the source hasn't been doing the research. All they've been doing is going to Larry Brown's sports page, taking the stories, copy and paste them, and put it, there and hit publish. So of course, Larry Brown Sports is coming for the source's neck. Now, I don't. Now, this is something that, while it is one of the biggest sins in journalism, it is one of the most prevalent. A lot of publications complain about having their work stolen. I'm just surprised that the source would actually no, because again, I feel like this is because the source was getting into a lane that wasn't necessarily theirs. You're a hip hop magazine, and that's not to say that you can't report on sports, but if that's not your forte, if sports is not your forte, that does not give you the right to go and pick up somebody else's, story and then pluck it into your publication. If, let's just say, the source was lazy and they didn't want to do the work of the sports story, what could they have done to get them out of this pickle with Larry Brown Sports, right? What could they have done and with this story so that Larry Brown Sports wouldn't be so offended? um let me see if you guys know. Yes, Nancy Time. They could have at least credited them. A lot of times, you might read a story and then at the top it'll say, oh shoot, hold on. Somebody on Clubhouse has something to say. Um, Casey, did you have something to say? Hold on a second. Casey, did you have something to say about the story?
I just came in.
Okay. All right. Well then, yeah, well, welcome and just listen along. Okay. Move to audience. Okay. So yeah, they could have credited them. Hi C4C Global. They could have asked, right? Sometimes when you read a story, you'll say, oh, story provided by Associated Press or according to Reuters, things like that. That is them giving proper, credit to the person who originated the story. So whoever is, handling the sports section at the source, may need to, review the rules of journalism because they are basically just stealing stories. And you don't do that in the journalistic world. It's, that can get you fired. So good luck to them. All right. Moving on to our next story. Is anybody here? If you're a video game player, if you're a gamer, give me a video game, the video game controller emoji, please. If you are a gamer, give me a video game controller emoji. Um, and if you have ever heard of the game Cyberpunk 2077, give me a C in the comments. So if you're a gamer, give me the video control emoji. And if you have heard of the video game Cyberpunk 2077, give me a C in the comments. Okay. Now, while you guys do that, I'm going to give you a background on the story. Red triangle? I'm not sure what that emoji is, Casey Lex, but I'm going to assume that that was for the controller. Okay. Now, if you are a gamer, you may have heard of a company called CD Project Red. Okay. And they created a game called Cyberpunk 2077. It's like, a real hi Donna Warner body, shoot 'em up game, whatever. Now, what you may not know is that CD Project Red has recently trademarked the word cyberpunk. Okay. For their game 2077, they're saying that they're not going to use it to, like, bully other people, but a lot of gaming outlets or other entertainment areas, they are concerned at the fact that Cyberpunk has tried to trademark, that CD Project Red has tried to trademark the word cyberpunk. For me, they're calling it trademark trolling, where you trademark a word because a lot of people are going to be interested, and you want them to have to buy it from you. So that's what people are saying that cyberpunk is doing, right? But for me, I also feel like, isn't the word cyberpunk common? I I watch a lot of, like, sci-fi shows, where they're doing computer stuff and things like that. And I feel like cyberpunk is a term that I hear often. So am I by myself in this? Um has anybody else heard the term cyberpunk? Do you feel like it's a common term? Let me know what you think in the comments. Okay. Is cyberpunk a common term to you? Or is it just me being a nerd? Let me know. I have no problem being a nerd, y'all. That's my thing. I'm a nerd. I love it. But for me, I'm like, the word cyberpunk, I just feel like it's too generic, especially in the place of the video game world, where you're literally in cyberspace, right? Um, but anyway, so CD Project Red, they have filed their trademark. I believe, it's actually been registered, and cyberpunk is protected in the video game space now. So, do you guys think this is a case of video game trolling, where the company knows that a lot of people are interested in cyberpunk, or are they just trying to protect their product, their video game? What do you think about that? What do you guys think? Hey, 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 hey. For me, I think that the word cyberpunk is common. I feel like it's generic. Does anybody feel otherwise? Kels Butter said, yep. Kels Butter agrees with me. Okay. Anybody disagree with me? Please feel free to disagree. This is a discussion. So, and I would love to hear differing opinions. Anybody else agree? Okay. So we all on the same page? Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions before we move on to the next story, which is an update, and I'm really excited to get to this one. Quick question. I'm gonna give y'all like 10 seconds to get a question in. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. I need some background. I need to get some royalty-free background music. All right. Okay. Okay. Moving on to our next story, and then we're gonna take a quick break to reintegrate, to welcome those of you who may have come in a few minutes later. Our next story. If you were here when we talked about McDonald, or not McDonald's, but Russia basically saying um, so long to anybody's intellectual property, give me, put a Russian flag in the comments. If you don't know what I'm talking about, because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, a lot of foreign companies that were operating in Russia, they decided to remove their businesses, and in retaliation, Russia said, "Oh, you're going to take your business out of here? Well, we're not going to respect your trademark." So you had people in Russia who were, trying to trademark Starbucks, Chanel, da da da, because there was no more intellectual property protection for anybody who was trying to pull out of Russia. Okay, y'all remember that? You remember us talking about that? And McDonald's was one of those companies. Well, McDonald's is doubling down on, removing themselves from Russia. If you didn't know, McDonald's has about 850 restaurants that operate or were operating in Russia under their banner. But because of Russia's new policy of not honoring uh, foreign trademarks, McDonald's is totally leaving Russia. They are taking McDonald's out of Russia. And what they are doing is they are selling all 850 of those restaurants. Who are they selling it to? They are selling it to a gentleman who owns 25 McDonald's restaurants in the area of Siberia. I didn't even know there was McDonald's in Siberia. Okay. But this gentleman who, he legally had his 25 McDonald's restaurants, and he's a Russian citizen living there. They said, "Hey, you've already got a bunch of McDonald's restaurants, right? So we're going to sell the rest of these restaurants to you, but you cannot use the McDonald's logo." So in selling these restaurants to this former McDonald's franchisee, McDonald's is also making it part of the deal that he can no longer use any of McDonald's intellectual property, meaning he cannot use the golden arches. He cannot call his company McDonald's. He cannot have Happy Meals and Big Macs and things like that, right? Because McDonald's is selling all of their interests in the country of Russia, and they are trying to keep their intellectual property. Now, whether or not this man decides to honor that, we'll have to wait and see, because again, remember, in Russia, if you are one of the countries that's up against Russia and is like, "Girl, we don't rock with you," Russia is saying, "Whatever trademarks you have here, you can forget about it." So this guy, he could buy all these restaurants and then, thumb his nose at McDonald's and then continue to call these restaurants McDonald's and file his own trademark. But I'm assuming that he wants to keep a friendly business relationship with McDonald's headquarters. So hopefully he doesn't. But I want to take a quick vote here. If you think that the Russian purchaser of the McDonald's restaurants is going to keep the McDonald's name, give me an R emoji. If you think the Russian restaurant owner is going to change the name and not you and honor their deal with McDonald's and not use the McDonald's name, give me a smiley face emoji. So, okay. So if you think that the Siberian McDonald's owner is going to honor his deal with McDonald's and not use the McDonald's logos if they sell him the restaurants, give me a smiley face. If you think he's going to get the restaurants and then say, "McDonald's, what are you going to do to me? Nothing," and use them anyway, give me an R in the comments. For me, I feel like this could go any way. I would have to know more about this person and what their motivations are. If this person is strictly about business, I feel like he would honor that deal because he's going to want to do business with other people in the future. I'm assuming that Russia isn't always going to be under this kind of embargo, so he wants to keep those lines of communication and those lines of business open. But that's my opinion. Nessie Time gave me a smiley face, so she thinks that he's going to honor the agreement. Jackie said, "Better not name it McDowell's." We will see. But listen, if he named it McDowell's, McDonald's couldn't do anything about it. All right. Okay, so we will have to wait and see what happens with these 850 former McDonald's restaurants. All right. So let's just do a quick reset for those who may have come in recently. You are listening and watching to NPL Legal Dish. This is my Monday broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. If you are in the startup phase of your business and you are looking for legal guidance to get your business on track so you can do things like develop business credit and get business loans and grants and be able to just take your business to the next level. I want to help you do that, and you need to do that by having your paperwork in order. So link up with me, go to linktree/NPL consulting firm, and let's get on it today. All right. Okay. Next story that we are talking about. Is anybody here in the trucking business? Is anybody listening or watching in the trucking business? Maybe you're a dispatcher, maybe you own a fleet of trucks, maybe you own one truck. If you are in the trucking business, give me a truck emoji. Okay. Now you guys know with this whole supply chain thing, we have been, trucking has been a growing industry. A lot of people are making money doing trucking. Um, and it's and like any business, there are, financial perks you can get for being in the trucking industry. Nobody's in the trucking industry? Nobody's a dispatcher, nothing? Okay. Well, um, if you if you were in the trucking industry or someone they may have or you might have a credit card that is issued by the US Bank, who handles my mortgage. Um, you might have a credit card that is called the Voyager Fleet Card. So US Bank, they have how credit cards have perks, like some of them you can earn miles or points and get things like that, or for hotels and whatever. US Bank has a credit card specifically for those in trucking and vehicle businesses, so that you can do things, and earn points for things like fuel and maintenance. So it's a perks card for someone in the trucking industry, right? And it's been around for a while. US Bank is and when you look at the card, it says Voyager on it. US Bank is a little upset right now because there is an online a crypto bank called Voyager Digital. Now, we all know that crypto is big these days. It's not necessarily doing well in the market, but it's still, a thing. People are, purchasing things with crypto. And there is an effort to make cryptocurrency more accessible in the everyday world. So, in order to facilitate that, Digital, they have set up a debit card that they are calling Voyager. Okay. So, Voyager, this company that engages strictly in cryptocurrency, it's a cryptocurrency bank. They have their own debit card so that you can take money out of your cryptocurrency account with their debit card. And it's again on the credit card, it says Voyager. And US Bank is very upset because they also have a Voyager credit card for people who are in the trucking business. So, do you think that there is a possibility of confusion between the two credit cards, the US Bank Voyager credit card and the cryptocurrency Voyager card, right? They're both engaged in financial services, right? One is more engaged in crypto, the other is engaged with, fueling things. But again, they're engaged in financial services, right? And when we talk about trademarks, you can have one trademark in the industry per name. So that's why you can have Dove soap and Dove chocolate because they're two different industries. You couldn't have two Dove soaps. So here in the financial space, we have two Voyager cards. So there's a possibility of confusion. Kels Butter said totally. Nessie Time said yes. Anybody on Clubhouse have any thoughts on the Voyager fleet card versus the Voyager cryptocurrency card? Do you think that they're like, if you were out there looking for a credit card, right? Let's say you were looking for let's just say you're not in trucking and you're not even in cryptocurrency, but you're just looking for, a points card. 76 Grim Gray said yes. So you can earn miles or whatever. Voyager might come up and you might be confused because you don't know that, it's either a trucking company or a cryptocurrency card. So I think that there is a definite opportunity for confusion here or a false association. So I think that US Bank is well within their rights to be coming after Voyager Digital for this debit card. Does anybody think that there is room for two Voyager cards in the financial space? Is there room? Yes or no? Let me know quick in the comments. Do you think that there is room in the financial space for two Voyager cards that are for two different companies? So US Bank Voyager card for trucks and Voyager Digital's Voyager card for cryptocurrency. Okay. Nessie Time said no. There's no space for the both of them. And I agree with you. I think Voyager Digital, they may have mistakenly thought that they weren't in the same industry because they're dealing with cryptocurrency. But again, this is all financial. These are financial instruments. That is an industry unto itself. So I'm pretty sure that Voyager is going to have to do some name changes sooner rather than later. All right. Any questions before we move on? Any questions? Jackie said, I think not. Okay. All right. Any questions before we move on? Because I got a question for y'all football fans. Okay. If you're a football fan, give me a football emoji. American football. Not I know we may have some international viewers here, but American football. If you are a fan of American football, give me a American football emoji. All right. Um, and yesterday in my stories, I posted a picture of a young man and I asked you guys what his name was and what position he played. What position he played. This young man, he plays for the Baltimore Ravens. And his name is Lamar Jackson, and he is a quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. If you know who Lamar Jackson is, give me an LJ in the comments. Yesterday, when I asked the question, somebody was like, the great number 8, he's a quarterback and he could be a running back. Like, Mama was standing for Lamar Jackson. Okay. If you know who Lamar Jackson is, please give me an LJ. Jackie said used to be. You used to be a Lamar Jackson fan. What happened? What happened, Jackie? All right. So Lamar Jackson, I guess he's a pretty popular player. But not only is he a football player, but he also has business ventures. He is part owner of a pizza shop called Blaze Pizza in Westminster. Thank you, Sincere 39. Okay. Well, Lamar Jackson, he's not stopping there. Lamar Jackson has filed 2 trademarks recently in within the realm of restaurant services. One is called Play Action Soul Food and More. And the other one is a phrase that says "You ate yet," with eight being the number 8, not you ate ATE yet, right? So Lamar Jackson has trademarks Oh, you used to be a football fan. Okay. Lamar Jackson has trademarks pending for play action, soul food, and more, which sounds like it's going to be kind of like a sports bar type restaurant. And then the phrase "you ate yet" with the number eight. And I feel like that's probably going to be the tagline. Um, and why the number eight? Because Lamar Jackson's jersey number is number eight, right? So this is a smart way, to extend your finances as an athlete. We all know that, in the past, there were always these stories of athletes going broke after they left the league because they didn't have, any real investments, or they were spending money unwisely. And you find more and more that these athletes, they're very savvy about intellectual property and making sure that they have other sources of income for after they leave the league. So Lamar Jackson, apparently restaurants is his thing. So look out for some type of soul food experience for Lamar Jackson in the future. Would since the other night said they still go broke, would anybody be interested in trying out Lamar Jackson's restaurant when it opens? I know I would go. Baltimore ain't that far from here. I'll go. Anybody interested in checking out Lamar Jackson's restaurant when it comes out, which will probably be called Play Action Soul Food and More? Let me know in the comments. But good for him for securing the bag like that. Ooh, excuse me. All right. Okay. Next story, real quick. This is kind of a callback to last week. Last week, if you were here, we talked about Kendrick Lamar. One of his songs, I forget the name. Hold on, let me look it up real quick. Kendrick Lamar. Yes, Kendrick Lamar, and on his new album, Jackie said I would love soul food vegan. Okay. On Kendrick Lamar's new album, there's a song called The Heart Part 5, and in that song, he uses the technology of deep fakes to, transform himself to several male celebrities like Will Smith, Jussie Smollett, OJ Simpson, Kobe Bryant, and a couple more, right? And we talked about whether there might be an issue here of copyright infringement, because you're using these celebrities' faces. Well, we have something that is kind of close to that. As we have a more digital world, there's a lot more voice work that is involved. So there's a lot more CGI and animated programming that you find these days. So there's a lot of there's more work for voice actors out there, right? And voice actors in particular, they are concerned about losing money over their work because of technology and deep fakes, where you have hold on. Since either night said I seen a deep fake video of Bruce Lee on Joseph Levitt. I have no idea who Joseph Levitt is, since you're 39. But yeah. So a lot of voice actors, in particular, this one lady, she said that she did a commercial for a company, and then a couple of years later, she hears her voice coming up on TikTok. You know how you can do the voiceovers on TikTok, and she's like, "That's my work. You can't take that and use it for your TikTok things." So I feel like you're with deep fakes becoming more apparent, you're going to find a lot more copyright infringement for voice actors. You're finding this with comedians now. There is a big lawsuit against Pandora and other streaming sites because comedians are not getting, their royalties for the comedic bits that are being streamed on those platforms. And voice actors are getting into this too. They're like, voice work, it's work. This is how I make my money. You can't take my voice so you can do your little TikTok dance. All right. So I would urge you to be careful out there with what you are using for your TikTok remakes, because you don't want to be hit with some type of cease and desist because you're using something, that isn't authorized. Now, it wouldn't necessarily be you, it would be the platform, but still, they could take your video down and all that. So just be careful when, as to what you are using for your voiceovers for TikTok, okay? All right. Um okay, we're getting into our last couple stories. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me. If you have popped in and later into the broadcast, you're watching MTL Legal Dish, my weekly broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. If you're in the startup phase of your business, come hang out with your girl. I'm a licensed attorney with a passion for helping entrepreneurs achieve their dreams, and I want to help you. Go to linktree/MPL Consulting Firm and book yourself a free 15-minute consultation today, okay? All right. Last couple stories of the night. As you can see, the title of tonight's broadcast says free knockoff with purchase. Okay. Um, if you have heard of the brand Christian Dior, give me a CD in the comments. If you own a Christian Dior bag, or if you've just seen Christian Dior, if you know Christian Dior, the brand, give me a CD in the comments. And if you own, a Christian Dior item, authentic, not something that you buy off Canal Street, give me a bag emoji. Okay. Christian Dior, give me a CD or give me a bag emoji. Thank you, Jackie. Jackie knows Christian Dior. Okay. Now, Sincere 39, the dude that played Snowden. Oh, okay, okay, Jason Gordon-Levitt. Okay, I didn't see Snowden. Thank you, AP Jackson. All right, so we know Christian Dior. Now, as much as we know about Christian Dior, the brand, right? Have we ever known Christian Dior to do a bag giveaway? Have you ever known anyone associated with Christian Dior to just give away Christian Dior bags as, like, a fun prize? Jackie said, no, I don't purchase anymore unless family. Right now, outside of, celebrity things where they have the swag bags, have you ever been to an event or something where Christian Dior was giving away authentic Christian Dior bags? Kels Butter said, so if someone uses a voiceover on TikTok and they acknowledge the creator or the original owners, is that still infringement even if the TikToker isn't getting paid? That's a fine line, Kels Butter. It's a very good question. It would depend on who it is. It may not be that big of a deal for one voiceover person, but it may be a big deal for another person. It is up to the artist or the creator of that work to decide whether they want to pursue the infringement. So there's no bright line. Okay. All right. So I hope that answers your question. So, all right, now going back to my question as to whether Christian Dior ever gives away back, Jackie said nope. Sincere 39 said never. Kels Butter got some money. She told me she got a Christian Dior bag. Okay, girl. What's going on, Clubhouse? Are we in the Christian Dior club here? All right. Well, so we've never known Christian Dior to do bag giveaways, right? Well, Christian Dior, of course, they would never do a bag giveaway because Christian Dior gets a lot of their value from being exclusive, from being, hard to obtain. As a matter of fact, a lot of these luxury brands are raising their prices to make them even more exclusive. So when Christian Dior found out that there is a restaurant in Kansas called Dior Restaurant that was doing a Dior bag giveaway, their ears perked up. They were like, girl, I don't remember us having a deal with a restaurant in Kansas to give away Christian Dior bags. So of course, they looked into it and they found out that they weren't real bags, they weren't real Dior bags, but they were Christian Dior knockoffs. Again, the restaurant, it's in Kansas and it's called Dior Restaurant. And for people who were visiting their restaurant, if you ate there, they were giving you a knockoff Dior bag. Okay. Um, Now, Christian Dior is not happy about this. They're like, ma'am, when do you ever know us to give away bags? And we are exclusive. And Kansas, why would we be giving away Christian Dior bags at a Kansas restaurant? Okay. Now, another question that I have, this restaurant, Dior restaurant in Kansas, they describe themselves as upscale casual dining. To me, that sounds like an oxymoron. Do you guys think that it's possible for a restaurant to be both upscale and casual? Since 39 said Kansas of all places. Yeah, Kansas. Um, and even if there is such a thing as upscale casual, I don't see Christian Dior fitting into that brand. Christian Dior is all about luxury, upscale, nothing casual, very fancy, right? Um, so Christian Dior, when they heard about this Dior bag giveaway, they were automatically their ears perked up, and they have sued this restaurant for trademark infringement because you are diluting, you are tarnishing the Christian Dior um, brand. Jackie said no, either upscale or casual, not both. See, that's what I thought. But yeah, Christian Dior is like, we don't give away bags. We don't do casual. This does not align with our brand. We are exclusive. We are high class. Nessie Time said, I may be wrong, but I thought after you bought something, you can do what you want with it if they bought it. Maybe, but the thing is, um, they were giving away the bag in exchange for you purchasing a meal, right? So even if it's an authentic bag, you're basically reselling it for the price of a meal, and that Christian Dior does not allow. All right, but on top of that, these bags were knockoffs. Okay, these bags were not real. And Christian Dior, they are very picky about who can distribute their products, where it's sold, how much it's sold for. So they're like, no, you cannot get yourself a Christian Dior bag at some weird restaurant up in Kansas that calls itself upscale casual. Okay. Um, so Christian Dior, they are coming after this Kansas restaurant that calls itself Dior. Do you think Christian Dior is doing too much? Is there a possibility of confusion here? If I went to Kansas and I ate at Dior restaurant and they gave me a bag after eating there, would I reasonably have would I reasonably be able to think that, ooh, this might be a real Dior bag? Nessie Time said, does that mean I never really own it? You own it for personal use, Nessie Time. So if you want to take your bag, if you want to take that bag and cut it up and make a hat in it, if you want to give it to someone else just to give it to them, if you want to, I don't know, if you want to run it over with your car and you've purchased it, that is your business. But the moment you are trying to generate revenue from that bag, unless you're doing it, you're reselling it because it's old or whatever, there's certain things that you cannot do. Yeah, you can resell it for yourself, but if you're doing it on this scale of a restaurant where everybody at the restaurant is supposed to get a Dior bag in exchange for purchasing a meal, that is that's more of a retail operation. Okay. All right. So yeah, so Christian Dior is going after Dior restaurant. I think they're absolutely right. Hold on a second. Frank Ajay has something to say. All right, come on up. Let us hear you, friend. Frank, did you have something to say about the story?
How are you?
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Great. Did you have something to say about the Christian Dior story?
Never, never, never.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, so I think Christian Dior is totally in the right here. Because you never know. Someone might think that it's a real Dior bag and try and go to the Dior store and they're like, girl, you're, don't embarrass yourself. AP Jackson said, you would think the restaurant was part of Christian Dior. Christian Dior is trying to protect their brand and not doing too much. I totally agree with you, AP Jackson. I found out that there are actually a lot of restaurants that call themselves Dior. Um, but fortunately, none of them are trying to give away quote unquote Dior bags as an enticement for you to visit their restaurant. So yeah, word to the wise, any of you out here who plan on opening some type of restaurant, don't try and do designer giveaways. All right. Um, okay, and last story that we are covering for tonight. Oh wow, we are running up on an hour. Um, how many of y'all remember Lisa Frank? If you remember Lisa Frank, give me a rainbow emoji. I remember when I was in elementary school and I used to see all my classmates with the Lisa Frank folders and stuff. And I'd be like, Mom, I want some Lisa Frank. And she's like, we can go and get these folders for 25 cents. What are you talking about? Okay. But if you remember Lisa Frank, if you are a Lisa Frank fan, or even if you're not a Lisa Frank fan, but if you know what I'm talking about, Lisa Frank with all the colors, give me a rainbow emoji. Let me see some rainbows. Somewhere over rainbow. Give me some rainbow emojis. I know y'all know Lisa Frank. Don't act like this. All right. Anyway, okay. Thank you, Nessie Time. So what is Lisa Frank known for? What is Lisa Frank known for? How do you know something is a Lisa Frank product or a Lisa Frank design? Hmm? Jackie can't remember. Sincere 39 said, who is she? Lisa Frank was a brand when we were in grade school, and you probably didn't have it because, you're male, but a lot of the girls had, these, yes, bright colors and animal. Lisa Frank, it was all these rainbow colors and unicorns and just bright, just think rainbow bright, on steroids, everything, right? Um, so Lisa Frank, while the brand is known for being very colorful, apparently has been getting too big for their britches. They have been issuing copyright takedowns for people who post art on social media that you know has a lot of colors in it. There are many examples of independent artists who are who have put their work up on social media, and Lisa Frank has sent a copyright takedown notice because they object to the use of all of the colors. To that we say, Lisa Frank, you do not have a trademark or a copyright on the rainbow palette. Anybody can use multiple colors, right? Lisa Frank, now it is possible to trademark a color, or a collection of colors for your brands. However, you cannot co-opt the entire rainbow. So Lisa Frank is basically saying any picture out here that has 6 or more colors in it and looks kind of rainbowy, we're going to issue a takedown notice. Do you guys think that that's protecting their brand, or do you think that that is overkill? What do you think? So the issue that people have with Lisa Frank is that that the company is issuing takedown notices for anybody who posts super colorful artwork on social media. Kels Butter says overkill. Anybody else? Clubhouse, what do you guys think? Andrea says overkill. Sincere 39 says overkill. I totally agree with you guys. Now, while I will say, usually Lisa Frank products, Lisa Frank designs are pretty distinctive. You don't own the rainbow. There's tons of things out here that use multicolors, right? And if you Jackie said overkill, AP Jackson said overkill, right? If you want to preserve certain colors for your brand, there is a way to do that. However, you do not have license over the entire rainbow. Okay, so Nessie Time said, "Bye, Felicia. She's doing way too much." Absolutely. So, understand that when you are out here in the world, if you are trying to reserve colors for your brand, you need to be specific, and it needs to be, within a certain industry. So you need to be careful about that. Okay. All right. So those were the stories that I wanted to share with you tonight. Thank you guys so much for hanging in with me. My voice is doing much better than it was last week. We are done for today. If you missed any part of the show, make sure you go back and listen to or watch the replay. Make sure that you check out my linktree/ MPL consulting firm. Y'all, my birthday is this Thursday. So, tell your girl happy birthday. My daddy's birthday is on Wednesday as well. So, I'm going to be celebrating this week, celebrating life. AP Jackson said, "Is she suing the company that makes Skittles? She needs to have some seats." No, not Skittles. Maybe she might sue somebody if they made Skittles art. I don't know. But yeah, so this is where, thank you, AP Jackson, for the happy birthday. If y'all want to give me a present, your present to me is to follow through on that business idea that you have. A lot of you, you watch the show. Oh, your daughter's birthday is, yes, Gemini. Okay, yes, thank you. A lot of you out here, you have amazing ideas, and some of you have executed them, but some of you are still waiting for something. And your gift to me is to take a chance on yourself. You are talented, you are smart, you are creative. So get out there and give the world your talents. Thank you so much for the happy birthdays to me and my dad. But take care of yourselves, guys. Maybe I'll go live on my birthday and we can do, like, I don't know, a 15-minute birthday party. All right. So have a wonderful night. Take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Mhm. Thank you.